What's up, Cattywampus crew? It's Jason. Welcome back. And need to go take a look around. Check on these fine gents over here. How is everyone today? Do any of you have teenagers? Because we have this ongoing issue where we ask them to do something and they don't do it. Tell me, comment down below if that's a common issue with your teenagers. This time in particular, I'm talking about filling up the pig water, which one of them knows that she's supposed to do it. Hello, Ollie. Miyagi's a great buck, but boy, he is smelling fine right now. Hello, Jolene. Hello. Jolene wants to say hi. Well, I know a lot of you who subscribe to our channel and who watch our videos have followed us because of us raising Nigerian Dwarf goats, and we had the video where we talked about the Nigerian Dwarf breed specifically and why we raise them and why we think you should raise them. We are going to continue to raise them because we do believe they are an amazing breed. We use their milk to make our soaps and that we sell and cheeses, and it's an amazing, the quality of the milk from the Nigerian Dwarf is an amazing thing, and it is so good and so sweet, and because we take extra care to pay attention to what we're feeding to them, we have an amazing dairy product that comes from that. But if you've been following our channel, you know that we got the Lamanchas, and if you haven't been following our channel, hey, think about it. Check out our other videos. Think about hitting that subscribe button down below and hitting the bell notification so you can keep up to date with everything we're doing here in the farm. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. But I digress. We have recently gotten the Lamancha, the American Lamancha dairy goats. We have 3 of them, 3 does. And then we are currently borrowing a junior buck. We recently got our registration with the American Dairy Goat Association, so that's exciting. We are not going to, we have 0 intentions to start showing goats. That is whole nother life that none of us have any time for right now. And, if you do it, that's great. I think it's awesome. Kudos to y'all, but that is not something that we can do here. We do not have the time. We are homesteaders and currently full-time job people, but we are working towards self-sufficiency, and that's hopefully what the goats will provide for us. What I wanted to do today is sort of talk about the differences between the Nigerian Dwarf and the American Lamancha goat. I just wanted to give you sort of in layman's terms, like the most unscientific way that I can do it, and so most people can understand it, because I am certainly not scientific. But yeah, and just sort of talk about the differences in them. Obviously, as the Lamanchas go into milk and as they kid, we are going to learn even more. Let's get into it. Okay, so I am in here with the Nigerian Dwarf goats right now, and I just wanted to sort of cover some stuff if you don't know anything about them and compare that to the Lamanchas. This is Peyton. Hopefully she'll stay still for me. So this is Peyton. Get on your level, girl. This is Peyton. Peyton is a full Nigerian Dwarf goat. Peyton's about 3-ish years old, and she's very sweet. This is the normal demeanor of the Nigerian Dwarf goat. They sort of hang around. This is the time of day that they sort of sit around and chew their cud. Chewing cud, if you did not know, chewing cud is what ruminant animals do to basically, they digest the food, they bring it back up, they chew it, they digest it, they bring it back up. All goats are ruminant animals, so I don't think I'm blowing anybody's mind with that, and ruminant just means that they do have like a multi-chambered stomach where they're chewing and rechewing their food. So I got a tape measure. Let me see if I can get a measurement. So Peyton is 20 inches at the withers. The withers is this area right here, and when she puts her head up, she's just a few inches taller than that. She is, I don't know, when she's not pregnant, she is roughly probably 50 to 60-ish pounds. These are very healthy Nigerian Dwarf goats. That is a common weight for them, but she is a normal height for a Nigerian Dwarf doe. Comparison or contrast to the Lamancha, the Lamanchas are quite a bit taller and quite a bit heavier. Let me show you where that comes into play. So we put these 2 bales of hay in here a few days ago, and this is what's been eaten by these 3 Nigerian Dwarf goats. Please remember that they're at the end of their lactation. Normally, in the midst of their lactation, they give us a ton more, but they're finishing up now. They gave us probably about a half a gallon, probably about 3/4 of a gallon of milk for that amount of hay. And we just give, the only time we give them grain or goat feed is when they're in the milking stand. I don't know if it's controversial or not, I don't know, but that we don't give, if it's not a buck who's actively breeding or one of the does who are in milk, we don't give them goat feed or goat grain, as it's called, that regularly. It's something that's a treat, and it is not their main food supply. So that's one thing that we've been asked a lot of questions when people are getting into goats, is they think that goat feed is their main food. Do not believe that. No, no, no. They need a long, stocky type things to eat. If they are in a woody situation or woods situation, then they're going to eat mainly brush and stuff like that, and that's what their stomachs want, and that's what they need. They are solely vegetation eating animals, or vegans, I guess. The hay is their main feed. That's why you need a good quality protein hay feed. And what we do, and we just had the vet out, and she was talking about, she always talks about how Jolene is a good example of a healthy looking Nigerian dwarf. And we always feel right back here, come here. Uh-oh. This is the breeding dance, Miyagi's on it. I always talk about that to people, and I never get to really show them what it's like. That's what breeding's like amongst goats. Like I said, this is a good, healthy looking Nigerian. We feel back here, as long as you don't have like a straight spine, bony feel back there, it's gonna be doing good. Her tail is up, as you can see. She's pointing to it for you. And so she's happy and healthy. Her bag is pretty good. She is certainly no showgirl. She is one we've had for several years now. Jolene's about 5, and although she is quite ornery, she has provided a lot of milk for us. So the main difference between the Nigerian dwarf goat and the American Lamancha goat are size and what I would refer to, if you do it from like a business perspective, as value. And so the amount of food that they eat compared to what they're giving us, the value is probably more in the Nigerian dwarfs. They have a between 5 to 10% butterfat percentage in their milk, which is very, very high. Typically cows are around 3%. And I'm sure someone who is a dairy farmer is going to have all kinds of stuff to talk to me about. So that's where they're typically at. They have super high quality milk. They just don't give as much, but they also don't really eat as much either. And so we can maintain a healthy look on them, and a healthy animal with a little bit of hay and grain, and they produce for you like crazy. Now I'm with the Lamanchas. Although we are new to Lamanchas, we have learned a lot about them in the past couple of months. Now, if you heard the Nigerians, you may have picked up on it, and if you've ever heard us or any other homestead who is going out to their goats, Nigerian dwarfs are very loud. And I, starting with Nigerian dwarf goats as a goat farmer, thought that that's how all goats sounded. Well, I was wrong, because the Lamanchas, you really will not hear a whole lot out of them, and so they are significantly quieter. And although they are twice the Nigerian dwarf size, they are significantly more gentle. So let's go and talk to them. Fiona, our gatekeeper here. May I pass, ma'am? She wants to get out. She thinks Lauren lets her roam around, and I'm not ready for that right now. Also, if you've never watched her videos, Fiona is actually a mini donkey. She's only about 3 foot high here at the withers, and she is about 300 lbs, but she is like a 300-pound cat. Isn't that right? Wants to be near you, but you will touch her only on her schedule. Isn't that right? So now I'm with the Lamanchas. As you can see, Luna, Francine, and Veruca, they are very gentle. And then this is the boyfriend that we're borrowing, and boyfriend is not even a year old yet. So he is here for the purposes of making babies. Who's gonna let me do it? So 30 inches. So Francine's only a year old-ish, and she is 30 inches tall at the withers. So the Lamanchas that we have, and they are full-bred Lamanchas and come from quite a pedigree, they are about 29, 30 inches at the withers. And so they are quite a bit taller, and Miss Luna here, I don't like to disclose it because she is a lady, but she is definitely over 100 pounds. She's probably 110, 120 pounds. They are definitely not as easy to handle. They are significantly longer, as you can tell. So here's where we get to the main difference. With the Lamanchas, although their butter fat is typically going to be around 4 to 5%, which is still higher than a dairy cow, they will give us significantly more milk. When we move them back down with the other does, we will notice those 2 full bales of hay will be gone in probably about 3 or 4 days. And so they eat quite a bit more. And so then you lose a bit of value in that sense, but you are getting a significantly more amount of milk. A couple milkings a day, like a morning and night milking, typically what you're going to get is anywhere between 3/4 of a gallon to 1.5 gallons of milk per goat per day. And so we will, obviously, if you stay tuned with us, we will most definitely keep you updated and let you know how that's going, and see if this is a breed that you might be interested in. If you didn't notice, I didn't want to bring it up because sometimes they can be a little sensitive, but I'll put it on Mr. Stinky here since he wants to be so close. So this is what's referred to as gopher ears on Lamanchas, and they do have ears. People think they don't have ears, but they do. They're just very, very small. God, you're not horrible smelling, but you definitely don't smell the best. And so this is gopher ears. This is a standard breed standard in them. And then Luna has what's referred to as elf ears. See how hers are a little bit longer and they have the little point on the back of them there? See that? Yeah, she's sweet. She likes it. This is what their breed is known for. This is how you immediately recognize a Lamancha. Like I said, I'm not using scientific terms because I'm not a scientist and I'm not a goat shower. So I got all my homies with me now. So let's real quick break it down for the comparison between the Nigerian Dwarf goat and the Lamancha goat. Size-wise, the Lamanchas are going to need a little bit more area. I'm not going to give you a specific area because I think that's very subjective. So big differences are this. Size. Lamanchas are about, if not a little bit more, twice the size of a Nigerian Dwarf goat. The American Lamancha is a specifically bred American goat breed, and their purpose is for dairy mainly. They can be a meat animal, but because of their builds, and as you can see with, maybe you can see with Luna here, she has that dairy look to her where their belly's sort of lower, their hips are sort of like bony right here. That is the normal look of a lot of dairy animals. They are 110, 130 pounds-ish, somewhere around there. The Nigerian Dwarfs are going to be 50, 60, 70 pounds, somewhere around there. Miyagi, we have Miyagi, who is our herd sire, our big buck, and he is full Nigerian Dwarf, but he is way bigger than the rest of them. The Lamanchas eat significantly more hay than the Nigerian Dwarfs do. So if it's something where they're being pastured, where you're expecting them to consume the pasture area, they are going to consume it a lot faster than the Nigerian Dwarfs would. The Nigerian Dwarf goat, their milk is significantly higher typically on average in butterfat percentage than the Lamanchas. Although the Lamanchas, as far as the full-size breeds, are actually on the higher end of butterfat. If you need to pick one up, the Nigerian Dwarf, most people can pick one up. The Lamanchas, they are not as easy. They are definitely not as easy because they are way bigger. Temperament-wise, although they are both very sweet animals, the Nigerian Dwarf goat is constantly being mischievous. They are a very mischievous animal. If they can get in or out of something they're definitely going to go for it. The fencing is very crucial with a Nigerian Dwarf goat, where the Lamanchas, they don't really test it as much. They are, out of the two breeds, are far sweeter and far more gentle than the Nigerian Dwarf goat. Both goats are very hardy breeds. The Nigerian Dwarf goats are originally from, their breed is originally from Africa. The American Lamancha, they actually were bred originally in California. But both of them don't have any really cold issues. Both of them don't really have any heat issues. Specifically the Nigerian Dwarf goats, I've never, no matter on our hottest day here in Georgia, I've never seen them acting like they're about to fall out or something like that. It's just always important to make sure that they have plenty of water. We have automatic waterers here. That's so we don't have to constantly film. But one full-size goat can typically drink about up to 6 gallons of water a day, so please remember that. And don't let them get overly thirsty. Note, I am not a doctor or a vet or zoologist or any kind of biologist or anything. I am a farmer, homesteader, and cop. And so, but what I know from raising goats is if a goat's standing up, walking around, their tail is up in the air, not all curled down, and they're eating regularly, they're with the other goats, you probably have a happy, healthy goat. That's typically what it is. Some of them are tougher than others and can be sick and not as noticeable, but what we found is that means they're happy. And with a goat, or most ruminant animals, if their belly is happy, they're going to be pretty happy. So, do I think you should raise goats? Yes. Do I think you should raise Nigerian Dwarf goats? Definitely yes. Do I think you should raise Lamanchas? Yes again. But it's up to you to choose which breed is best. This does not encompass all of the goat breeds by any means. There are many breeds of goats that we may get more in the future of different types of breeds. And there are many that I could live to be 100 and we're never going to have here. There are so many different types, from meat to fiber to dairy goats. These are what work best for us. We are in Georgia in the United States. We're sort of north. We're in it's gardening zone 7B. We have the long growing season. It stays pretty warm most of the year. We have occasionally have cold weather. We have a decent amount of rain. So that's our setup. That's typically how it is where we live. The Nigerian Dwarf goats that we've been raising for several years and the Lamancha we have been finding to be very sturdy animals and very good animals for us to raise with our lifestyle. Hopefully, if you're thinking about getting into dairy goats, this is something that will help you along your way. Let us know in the comments below, like, what your feelings are, if it's something you're looking to get into, and we love helping however we can help, or if it's something that we don't know, maybe we can direct you to more of an expert type person and help you with that. So let us know in the comments what you think. But for now, I got a lot to do. We're on a homestead. I'm off today. I gotta get going on some stuff, some projects. So for now, thank you for joining us. Thank you to our Cattywampus crew. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting the bell notification. You'll know every time we go live or post a video. Once again, I'm Jason at Cattywampus Acres. We are done for today. Please join us next time. But for now, we'll see you guys later.